The Buffalo Bills continue to find new heroes every week, and in the win over the Miami Dolphins, one name deserves special recognition. Everyone saw linebacker Terrel Bernard come away with the game-sealing interception on Tua Tagovailoa, but what made that moment possible was the work of Deion Walker up front. Before we dive deeper into the latest injury updates and other Bills news, let's pause for a quick moment. Before listening to the latest news, subscribe to the channel, like it and don't forget to press the bell icon. Let's move on to the new news. Back to the field, Walker didn't just disrupt Tua's rhythm, he tipped the football ever so slightly, changing its trajectory and opening the door for Bernard to snatch it out of the air. That sequence sealed the win and pushed Buffalo to a 3-0 start, including another critical divisional victory. And it wasn't just that one play. Walker added key stops in the run game, making solo tackles on rookie Devon Achane and limiting those carries to minimal gains. He also created pressure throughout the afternoon, forcing Tagovailoa into awkward angles and muddy reads. Yes, he admitted to missing an assignment earlier, but that makes his bounce back all the more impressive. When the Bills needed someone to shift the momentum, Walker delivered in the trenches and helped write the story of Week 3. Credit where it's due, Deion Walker had just as much of an impact on the biggest play of the game as Terrel Bernard. Head coach Sean McDermott even admitted it, saying it won't show up on the stat sheet, but it was every bit as crucial as the interception itself. What makes it even better? Earlier in the game, Walker owned up to a mistake. Instead of letting it rattle him, he responded with toughness, stepped back on the field, and became a difference maker when the Bills needed it most. That's the kind of resiliency that builds trust with coaches and teammates. And speaking of trust, this isn't just a one-off performance. With Ed Oliver sidelined for the past 2 weeks, Buffalo has leaned on Walker heavily, sliding him into the starting front alongside Daquan Jones. The rookie has looked comfortable in the role, holding down the middle and showing flashes of dominance that go beyond his years. It's rare to see a fourth-round pick step in this early and handle so many critical snaps, but Walker is proving he belongs. Looking ahead, his emergence could shape the future of this defensive line. If Oliver returns healthy and Jones eventually moves on, the Bills might have already found their next cornerstone at defensive tackle. The Buffalo Bills coaching staff has shown real faith in Deion Walker, and it's easy to see why. From training camp to preseason, he's been making plays, and now in just his third regular season game, he's proving he belongs at this level. Drafted in the 4th round, Walker slipped further in the draft than his talent suggested. Concerns about size may have played a role, but none of that matters now. What does matter is that he's producing in the NFL, stepping up on a defensive line that needed his presence while veterans recovered. For a franchise managing a tight salary cap and investing heavily in its quarterback, finding immediate contributors like Walker on day 3 of the draft is invaluable. Buffalo may very well have its defensive tackle of the future. Walker's ability to disrupt the pass, hold his ground in the run game, and bounce back from mistakes shows maturity well beyond a rookie's profile. In just 3 weeks, he's not only earned the trust of the staff but also the respect of his teammates. And while Walker's pressure set the stage, credit must still go to Terrel Bernard for finishing the job. That interception came from preparation, the hours of film study and practice work that never make headlines. Together, Bernard and Walker created the defining moment of the Bills' win over Miami, a snapshot of how depth, discipline, and resilience power this team's 3-0 start. After the game, Terrel Bernard explained exactly how he was able to jump that route. He said it was something the Bills' coaching staff had drilled into him all week. Linebackers coach Al Holcomb showed him the look several times in film sessions and warned that if he didn't anticipate it, there would be consequences. Bernard recognized it instantly, trusted his preparation, and delivered the game-sealing interception. That sequence highlights one of Buffalo's biggest strengths. It isn't just the players making plays, it's the coaching staff putting them in the right position. Holcomb's preparation, Bernard's execution, and Walker's disruption all collided in one moment that slammed the door on Miami. Week 3 truly belonged to Bernard and Walker. One delivered the highlight, the other created it, and together they gave Buffalo its 3rd straight victory. But beyond the celebration, there are a few bumps and bruises to monitor heading into Week 4. No one suffered a major injury against the Dolphins, but several players were shaken up, and the coming injury report will tell us more about who's available as the Bills continue their push. The best news from Buffalo's Week 3 win is that the team escaped without any new major injuries. Heading into the Dolphins matchup, the Bills were already dealing with long-term absences, including Ed Oliver and Matt Milano, and the hope was to avoid adding more names to that list. Mission accomplished. Yes, it was a physical, sometimes chippy divisional game, but the Bills walked away in good shape. There were a couple of scares, most notably when Torrence went down holding his knee after contact from behind. For a moment, it looked concerning, but he was able to bounce back quickly and finish the drive. That's the kind of toughness this offensive line has been showing all season. Considering the context, Oliver battling a multi-week setback and Milano sidelined after his injury in Week 2, the fact that no new long-term issues came out of Miami is a quiet victory in itself. Health is always the hidden storyline in September, and for Buffalo to stay unbeaten while avoiding additional setbacks is a major positive as the season moves forward. The Bills did have a few injury scares against Miami, but thankfully, none appear to be serious. Torrence gave fans a nervous moment when he went down holding his knee after getting rolled up from behind. Fortunately, it looked more like a hurt, not injured situation, and he returned immediately, an encouraging sign considering how strong his breakout season has been at guard. Benford also had a frightening moment in coverage when he collided with safety Taylor Rapp on a deep pass to Tyreek Hill. The shot landed directly to Benford's ribs and knocked the wind out of him. After some brief attention, he was able to shake it off and continue playing. Defensive lineman A.J. Epineza briefly exited with a hip issue but returned after meeting with trainers, showing no lingering effects. And late in the game, cameras caught James Cook emerging from the medical tent shortly after Khalil Shakir's touchdown gave Buffalo the lead. There were no immediate updates on Cook post-game, but it's a situation worth monitoring as the team prepares for Week 4. The bottom line, bumps and bruises, yes, but nothing that looks like a long-term setback for Buffalo coming out of a tough divisional win. Official injury updates won't arrive until the start of the new week, but the early outlook is encouraging. None of the players who left the Dolphins game appear to be dealing with long-term issues, and the team now benefits from a long weekend to recover. Perhaps the best news of all is tied to Ed Oliver. Before kickoff, Oliver was spotted on the sideline without a walking boot, a sign that his recovery is progressing. It doesn't guarantee he'll be ready for Week 4, but it's an encouraging step forward for a defensive line that clearly missed his presence. Miami's offensive front held Buffalo without a sack, and Oliver's return would provide the push and disruption the unit thrives on. So, as the Bills move into Week 4, the storyline is clear: they remain undefeated, their young stars like Terrel Bernard and Deion Walker are stepping into the spotlight, and the roster has avoided major new injuries. The foundation is strong, the momentum is real, and Buffalo looks every bit like a contender early in the season. The Bills are 3-0, healthier than expected, and hungrier than ever. Next week brings new challenges, but right now, the energy in Buffalo couldn't be higher.